Senator Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz prepare to go head-to-head in tonight's only vice presidential debate.
NBC's Alice Barr joins us from Washington. So, Alice, what can we expect tonight?
Danita and Dave, this is expected to be the last debate of any kind before Election Day. Vice President Harris had agreed to a late October showdown, but former President Trump said no, arguing that it was too close to Election Day, and that is all making tonight that much more critical.
Final preparations are underway for tonight's vice presidential debate. Ohio Senator JD Vance arriving in New York. His Democratic rival, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, has been prepping in Michigan with help from his wife, Gwen Walz.
She wins every one.
The VP debate could take on outsized importance, with the presidential nominees not expected to face off again before Election Day. Both tickets still searching for that moment to sway undecided voters.
JD's a very smart guy, as everybody knows. I think he's going to do great.
Former President Trump spent Monday in Hurricane Helene-ravaged Valdosta, Georgia, alongside an aid group bringing truckloads of supplies.
We are going to be with you as long as you need it.
The former president accusing Vice President Harris and President Biden of not doing enough.
The federal government is not being responsive.
Let me get this straight. He's lying.
I spoke to President Biden last night about 5 o'clock, just about the storm.
The Biden administration promising to keep surging every resource. The vice president cut short campaigning to return to Washington and meet with FEMA officials.
I plan to be on the ground as soon as possible, but as soon as possible without disrupting any emergency response operations.
The federal storm response could have a major impact on the presidential race, with key swing states desperate for help in the path of destruction.
And turning back to tonight's vice presidential debate, some things to watch out for. Both nominees are expected to play up their small town roots. Expect that abortion, family views, how the candidates view family, and the economy are going to play a central role. And then we're going to note that these moderators are not going to be fact-checking live on stage. That's going to be left up to the candidates. But I think the big looming question is, how much is this going to be about Vance versus Walz as opposed to about Trump versus Harris? David, Danita.
Well, Alice, will tonight's debate follow the same format as last month's presidential debate?
Generally speaking, there are going to be a few changes. I noted that there won't be the live fact-checking that raised some consternation after the last Harris-Trump debate. Aside from that, there'll be no audience. Candidates are not allowed to interact with their staff during any breaks. And then another big change is that microphones are not going to be muted while the other candidate is speaking. That's something that did happen during the last debate after a lot of back and forth over that. So there could be a little bit more that could lead to some more kind of tense exchanges.
All right, Alice Barr reporting for us this morning. Thank you, Alice. Tonight's vice presidential debate will be hosted by CBS, but you will be able to watch it right here on Channel 3 with special coverage starting at 8 p.m.